Hi guys, this is Tina. Welcome back to my channel. So I am here for another one of our 3 in 30s. And today the letter is S. I know I say this every time, boring, but wow, I can't believe that we're at S already. It's just flown by. So I have come up with stamps. That's going to be my, word for the letter S. Now, be that postage stamps or, craft stamps, can kind of mix it up really. But probably a mixture of the two. So all I've done to prepare myself so that hopefully I can go a little bit faster, I've kind of colour sorted my stamps here. So I've got kind of browns and oranges and reds and things like that in this little jar. I've got purples and pinks in this one. And then I've got like blues and greens in this one. Just for a bit more speed really, so that I can hopefully kind of be a bit faster. So if you're planning on crafting along, you will need maybe some vintage postage stamps. If you haven't got vintage postage stamps, they can of course be, up-to-date postage stamps. Or alternatively, you may want to get some or bring along some actual stamps. So I have brought along a couple of background stamps. Haven't decided quite yet what I'm going to be using. And I've also brought along my kind of postage mark stamps. What else do we want? We want glue, we want scissors, and we want our inking, blender tool. Anything else? Some coffee dyed paper or, whatever paper that you decide. And then whatever else that you might fancy decorating with. So I have brought along today some tracing paper, because one of the things that I've got in my mind, I don't know whether it's going to go well, but is going to use tracing paper. I might use some sheet music, but it's kind of undecided at the moment. We'll just see how we get on. So that's kind of it, I think, with regards to what you're going to need. I'm going to kind of pile these up to the side so they're not in the way quite so much. I'm running out of space very badly here. Let me get my timer on. Oh, I've got like the world's worst phone, so you have to bear with me for a moment while I just pull my timer up. It's a little bit on the slow side, I'm afraid, so it takes a while. Right, here we go. So I'm still on my 30, from our last time that we did it. Okay, so I think we're about ready to go now, so I'm going to hit start and off we go. Okay, we're off. So I think what I'm going to do is, for my first piece, I'm going to use this stamp. I've had this stamp for yonks and yonks. I love Paris. Absolutely love this stamp. And I'm just going to stamp it with my jet black Stays On. Now, sometimes I get a better stamp with this than others. It's quite a juicy stamp. So, it sucks up a lot of ink, I find. And obviously, because my desk is quite messy, it's not necessarily the flattest surface. So I realise that it's, mainly my own fault if I don't really get a good stamping impression. Should have really done this before I came on, but I didn't want to cheat. And I didn't want you guys to obviously miss out on any of the stages. So it's come out okay. I might do one more because it might come out, a lot better second time round. It also, gets better the more you use it. So I haven't used this stamp for quite a while. So if I use it another time, it might have a slightly darker impression now. So we'll press that down. Yeah, can you see it's come out, much darker? Okay, so I'm going to move that to one side. Now, I'm just going to tear around this, because I really like torn pieces. Like that. And then I will just tear it down so that it's, a more manageable size. Oops. Just tear that down. And then all I'm going to do is make a little, floating pocket from a couple of book pages. So I've got some book pages here. I mean, as you can see, they're kind of torn and, not the best. But hopefully that's all going to be fine. I'm going to do them pretty much as you can see this one here. So all I'm going to do is glue these together. And hopefully my glue is going to cooperate. Oh, she says, and right at the first hurdle, look, it's already letting me down. Got another one here that's really old, so, but not old enough to throw away because it's still got some in it. So, right, let's see. Okie dokie. So we're just going to glue this down, and I'm not going right to the edges because I'm going to cut this down slightly. All I'm actually trying to do is thicken it up really at the moment. You know, that's my primary goal here. Like that. I think I've actually got 3 there, so. Oh, maybe not. It felt like I had another one stuck in there somewhere, but obviously I haven't, so that's fine. So then I'm going to just fold it in like that. And then I'm just going to glue this together along the edges like that. And then I'm just going to trim it down slightly. Now, do I want the tatty edge or the neat edge? I mean, I like the tatty edge, to be honest. I mean, is that really weird? Plus that's torn, which isn't so great. But it's still going to be torn, to be fair, whether I use that or not. So let's just cut it down here a bit, like that. Okay, and then all I'm going to do is glue it here. I mean, this is like the world's most basic pocket, really, but, you know, hopefully it will be good enough for our project. So okay, and then all I'm going to do is pop on stamps to decorate it up. So now I was intending on having them all around the edge, so it's like poking out from behind. This is going to obviously take a little bit of time, so I hope I don't regret this choice, but let's go for it. Now what I probably should do is just paste all over the pocket with some Mod Podge, because then that would be, I'm sure, much quicker. But let's just go for it now and see how we get on. So I'm using obviously my ones from my little cup that are, you know, coordinated, well, you know, coloured in browns and oranges and reds. So hopefully I'll get a bit of a, you know, cohesive kind of look here. So like that. I must say, I mean, I never would have pictured myself as a stamp collector, but you know, when you buy the vintage stamps, I can actually see the appeal because some are so beautiful. I mean, this one, you probably can't see it because it's been postmarked on top, but it's got that, he looks like a soldier. He's probably somebody famous and I'm just, you know, well, not famous, but, you know, renowned, and I'm just showing my ignorance. But I can see now the appeal of stamp collecting, because actually you do get some really, really, really attractive stamps, I must admit. So I'll just put that one down there. I was thinking it was all looking a little bit on the red side, so I just wanted to dig into the pots and try and get a brown shade. Yeah, never would have pictured myself as a stamp collector, but, you know, I can kind of see the appeal now. I want that one running down there because it's like a long one. That's a bit pink, that one. Let's have this one. Like that. Might have that one there. So I hope everyone's having a good day. Hope you're having fun if you are joining me in this challenge. Gradually I notice several more people are joining, which is very exciting for me. So thank you so much, guys, if you are joining in. It's really, really, you know, yeah, very excited by that. Excited and slightly concerned because I do notice that I seem to be the only person who has to constantly overrun and cheat. I don't know why that is. I think I mentioned it maybe last time, but I noticed that Rachel, so from Roxy Creations, she has managed to do them all so far in time. So I'm slightly concerned that I'm doing, you know, a lot of dilly-dallying around that needlessly, because I'm wondering how come I have to overrun every single time and she's managed to do it on time every single time. I'm clearly just a bit of a ditherer. Right, so there we go. And I'll just pop this one here and then probably one more. Oops, got that one. There we go. Right, actually I just pop that one down. So I mean, this is a bit of a time consuming thing, but hopefully it's going to make a really nice kind of frame for the image, which actually, now looking at this, hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it? I wish actually I'd stuck the image down and used those stamps as a frame. So I think that would have looked really good, but never mind, too late now. Right, let's ink up my stamped piece. I'm just going to tear it down slightly here because it suddenly went out like quite wide. So just tear that down. Okay. Right. Oh, I just love how that looks. I don't know about you guys, but, you know, I just love how that looks already, and, you know, without even putting anything else on there. Now, we could have a little bit of doily or something, just for a bit of added extra. What do you think? That's nice, isn't it? Right, let's go for that. So before I glue that down, I'm just going to ink this up slightly. Oops, I said slightly. Look at the colour on that. I forget, you see, that I have a new ink pad, and I know I've said this loads of times now, but I'm using walnut stain because they didn't have vintage photo on Amazon at the time I ordered. So it's quite nice actually to have, you know, have a change, but you just have to be a little bit careful, don't you, when you swap to something that you're not used to. You know, it can make quite a difference. And the walnut stain, although sort of similar, or when I ordered it I thought, oh, it would be similar. I've had it before, but it was really a long time ago. It actually is quite dark, and it's quite black based, I would describe it. So I'm just unclogging my Fabri-Tac glue because I know I've said this repeatedly as well, but my tacky glue is doing strange things to the doily. So you know, I just want to be a bit careful with the doily piece. There we go. Okie dokie. So I will just pop that down there. Oh, look, caught up with my dry wet wipe was that piece of ribbon, which just weirdly I think might look quite good on here. Again, the perks of having such a messy desk, because you just drag things in and you just never know what's going to you know, catch your eye. So oh, I thought it was going to look great, but actually it kind of maybe detracts from the item. What do you think? Or we could have it on there, and we could have a little bit of bling, because actually I just always have to add a bit of bling. Oh yeah, I will do. I wasn't going to, because I thought, oh, perhaps it actually detracts from the, oh, what a shame, I've covered up that lovely stamp that I really liked with that, who may have been a soldier, or he may have been somebody very famous in our history that I'm just completely oblivious to, but I've now unfortunately covered that entire stamp because it was that one there. Oh well, never mind. He's gone now. He's gone, covered up. Didn't know who he was anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter to me, but I did think it was a particularly nice stamp. Right, just going to pop my bling down. Ugh. Covered in glue, and I'm like, you know, 12 minutes into the video, so doesn't bode well for the rest, does it? Okay, so I'm going to leave that to one side. I love how that looks. Really, really love it. So there we go, pop that to one side. Right, the next thing that I thought we could do is make like a snippet using the stamps. So all I'm going to do is tear a strip of the tracing paper that I've brought along here, and I'll just tear it both sides because, you know, we want it to look consistent. And and then what I thought I would do is just stamp roughly on it. So I'm going to use this postcard stamp. I know I've used this, you know, gazillion times, but it's a really nice stamp. So I'm just going to stamp randomly onto the tracing paper, just so it's not plain now. Just go that a bit more because it's didn't come out that well. So, you know, just to give it a little bit of colour. And then all I'm going to do, let me just grab a piece of paper. Oh, maybe not. I don't think I've got any paper, so, oh, yes I have, yeah. Right, just so that I've got something cleaner to ink onto. Right, let's just pop the lid on my glue. Otherwise, the next time I come to use that, that will be clogged up. That'll be the next thing. So I'm just going to pick this up so that I can ink quite a bit on those torn edges. Actually, I could probably get into them here just as well because they actually kind of crease up, so I can get to them. So just ink them up like that. Okie dokie. And let's mix up the colour this time, so we don't want to use the same colour again. So I will go for the blue ones, I think, here. No, I'm going to go for the pink ones. Let's do the pink ones. Yummy. So these are a mix of like pink and purple. I was actually quite surprised how many pink vintage stamps that you can get, to be honest. Over the time, they seem to have been very popular. And I'm just going to line them up along the length of the tracing paper, because I just thought this would make a really cool like edge to a page. So I will glue them down, you know, as we go. But even though I've been having that with the lid on, look, it still is now clogged up. Oh. The trials of when you're doing a video. And especially when you're on a timer. Because obviously, oh no. Maybe this is why I'm struggling. Maybe Rachel doesn't have glue dilemmas or glue problems, I don't know. I know she always uses that glue stick, which I don't know if we can get that brand here. But I have said, I mean, I did try the glue stick that a few people had recommended, the Yoo-Hoo. Still got it. Personally, I found it pretty messy to use, but I think it's a case of obviously getting used to it. And it sounds so crazy, but it really takes a lot of getting used to a different, you know, different glue. So I'm just going to go down the length of here with my different stamps, but in sort of tone-in colours. Don't want it to look too uniform though, like an alternative or an alternate, you know, pink, purple, so that's why I just swapped that one back out. So I have this one. Yeah, I mean, over the time, look at how many lovely coloured stamps there've been. Who would have thought it? Okay. And should we have another pink one if there is? Yeah, let's have that one. And some of these are on the envelopes still. you know, that's how they were obviously when I bought them. Okay. Oops. The only thing is they're a little bit slippy and slidey when you're sticking them down onto the tracing paper. I can't actually see which is the right way up for that. I think that way. Oh well. It's probably going to be glued upside down, to be honest, but never mind. I just bank on, you know, everyone's kind of, you know, I don't have any young viewers, so I just bank on the fact that we're all got poor eyesight now. Right. Okay. So that's that. Now, unfortunately, what I hadn't banked on, because I obviously hadn't done a trial run, it's gone quite curly whilst it's drying. Obviously, once you glued this down on a page, it would not be curly, because it would, you know, you'd glue it down here and then it wouldn't be curly. So that's kind of an easy get around for that. Now, just before I leave that, I just wondered whether we could kind of pop it on some doily as well. Don't know as that really kind of needs it, and to be fair, maybe not with the pink. It maybe would have been better if I'd have done the brown, but anyway, too late now. So we've got those. I did bring some butterflies along, so again the butterflies might be quite monstrous here because they're not the smallest, but we could just have a little butterfly on there. What do you guys think? I mean, I don't really think it needs it, to be honest, but I'll put it on there just for something a little bit extra. And of course, you could also decorate it up with things like, you know, add some flowers to it or anything like that, if you wanted to add any extra sort of bits rather than just the stamps. And then, do we want some bling on the butterfly? Because of course we always like to have a bit of bling somewhere. Oh, look. What is going on? I am just literally stuck all over here. Okay. Oh yeah, let's have a bit of bling. Always looks good with bling, doesn't it? So we just pop that down. Okay. So that's my second piece. Now, as I say, you know, you could always add flowers and things like that. I'm going to put it though to one side just because, you know, I'm on the clock here. So, you know, but obviously in the real world, I maybe would add, you know, a couple of paper flowers. I can't really see any here, so I won't dilly-dally too much. I mean, I have got a pink one, but this is the wrong colour pink. But just to show you the type of thing I mean, you could always add like a little flower to the side or something. Right, going to pop that to one side. Now, the next thing that I thought we could try is just making a bookmark. I know that we made a bookmark last week using ribbons, but I thought we could do one with the postage stamps. Obviously, you can probably tell I did Google some, you know, crafts for postage stamps, and I had, you know, I found this lovely post with bookmarks, so I just thought actually they might be quite a good thing to make. So again, I'm just going to take book page here, glue it together, and actually I'm going to glue it back to back like that. So hopefully I've glued those torn bits down, and then I'm just going to fold that over to give it extra thickness like that. And actually what I should have done probably was clamped some ribbon or something in between here, in between these layers. But again, obviously I haven't done a trial run of this, and so this is very much trial and error, in case you couldn't tell. I don't tend to do trial runs, as you can probably always tell, but you know, we'll just go with it. So I'm just going to trim this down because this is actually quite long book page, and I'm going to trim the edges down too, just so it's a little bit neater than it was. Okay, oops, not very straight there, so I'll just trim it in again. Okay. Now I've got my blue and green postage stamps here. So I'm just going to do like a collage of postage stamps all the way down the whole length of this. So I think it will be fastest if I actually do use Mod Podge for this. So I'm going to get my Mod Podge out, get my paintbrush. Oops, now I don't have a paintbrush other than a huge paintbrush. Oh. Right, well, excuse the size of my paintbrush. My slimmer paintbrush suffered where I obviously didn't rinse it out straight away. So I have rinsed it out now, but it's obviously now it's drying. Right. Now I am literally just going to pop these on all the way down the length of the bookmark. I'm not going to, you know, pay much attention to how I put them on. Obviously I don't want to have all the same size in the same area, if that makes sense. So I'm going to try and mix that up a little bit. Let me just turn this over, or get rid of this. Oh my gosh, get rid of this sheet to the side. Right, I've got this one which actually is 2, so I'll just kind of drag it down there. Okay. Pop that one in there. Oh, that's the same as those, look. That's the only thing. I'm not obviously paying attention at all to what I'm gluing down, conscious of the time, where, wow, I only have like 5 minutes left now. So, yeah, I'm sure I could have made a much better job of doing this, but, you know, it's fine. There we go. Just pop those in. Yeah, I love the colours of the postage stamps. I mean, I do love, you know, pretty colours and things anyway, but definitely you do get some really lovely colours with stamps. Okay, so I'm just going to go right down to the bottom now and just glue the last few on that I want to have on here. Oops. Oops, I need smaller ones now because I'm now running out of space a bit, so I'll have to swap those around like that. Okay. You know, I mean, obviously I'm doing this in quite a rush, but I hope that I'm in frame. I just realised that I'm quite low down the table, but obviously that's the nature of what we're doing. So yeah, I hope that I am vaguely in frame for you guys, so I apologise if I'm not. I was mortified that I know a couple of weeks ago I wasn't in frame for the one hole binding method that I'd got from Emily from Emma Femra's Treasures. So I do apologise, and I had said that I would try and do another video of that. I haven't had time so far, so but it's still on my radar. But I have linked Emily's video in that video, so if you wanted to check that out, then her video is there and is excellent. So, you know, do check that out. Right, now obviously this is quite soggy and my pieces are slipping around a fair bit. So, you know, it's not ideal, obviously, project to do in this tight time frame. So I'm just going, oops, do you know what I nearly did? I nearly put my postage stamps into the Mod Podge. I picked them up and went like that and nearly went straight into the jar of Mod Podge. That's what happens when you're rushing. Now you see, at this point Rachel's probably finished. If she, you know, if she joins me and does this particular task, she'll probably be finished now. and, you know, twiddling her thumbs. So again, I'm back to being completely baffled what's taking me so long, because I don't feel like I've dilly-dallied, but who knows, maybe I have. Right, now that obviously is, you know, yeah, pretty soggy. I would like to ink it up. I'm not going to be able to here because it's too soggy. The ink would just, you know, go really weird, like the ink goes when it's wet. I'm just going to trim it up at the bottom a little bit more. And obviously then you can finish this off however you like at the top by having like an eyelet or something through it, and then like some ribbons. So I'm just having a look to see what we might like to have. I've got some blue baker's twine, which is really nice. Now this is where all doesn't go too great with my crocodile either, so I'm just going to, oops, pop the hole there. Okay, now I've got some eyelets somewhere here, she says, and again, can't now see them. Here we go. Probably bronzy type colour, I think. Oops, that's actually stuck together with a brown one. Oh, come on. I must admit, I mean, although the time's getting away from me again, I've had a lot of fun with these stamps. So if you've joined me, I hope you have also had fun and enjoyed the working with the stamps. There we go. Oh, I don't know whether I've really grasped that or clamped that tight enough, but oh well. Just do it a little bit more. Okay. So as I say, I mean, I would obviously really now ink that up. I have now, you know, sort of run out of time, so I'm not going to be able to. And again, you could obviously do exactly the same on the back with more postage stamps. Again, I've run out of time. I'm not going to be able to do that. So all I'm going to do is pop my baker's twine through. And just tie that in a little knot. Okay. And again, you know, you might like to Mod Podge the entire surface of this bookmark. You could, again, you could put a label on there or something. You know, you could put a butterfly on there. There's loads of things that you could now do with that bookmark. I mean, I'm trying to keep it looking like a bookmark rather than a tag. Oops, there goes my timer. Woohoo! I actually stayed in time. I mean, obviously my project's not quite complete, so that's how come I managed to stay in time that time. But it's good enough. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to keep it looking like a bookmark rather than a tag, if that makes sense. But I think you've got a lot of possibilities with those. And to be honest, I like it just as much as I liked the pieces that we did last week, you know, the bookmark that we did last week. So just pulling in something that's resembling a page. I haven't got a journal on the go, I'm afraid, at the moment, because I've just completed a couple of projects. This is it, obviously, as a bookmark, and you could obviously then move that around your page. You could also put some coffee dyed paper on the back or something, and journal on the back of there. I think probably I would be inclined to put more postage stamps on the back, so it was kind of the same on the front and the back. But I really like that, and obviously it would just hang over, you know, hang over your book. Yeah, I really like it. I think it looks really, really nice. So that's that piece. Then we've got this kind of snippet that we made with the tracing paper and the postage stamps, and then we popped the butterfly on. So again, that's how that would look. Just, you know, I thought running probably down the edge of the page, but I mean, of course, you could put it down the middle of a page, or you could put it, you know, on the inside edge, however you liked, really. But again, you know, I really like how that looks, so I hope that you like that as well. And then the final piece that we made was obviously the pocket. So this is just a book page pocket. It's, you know, super basic, and yeah, super basic, but again, I love how that looks. You know, really pretty. And again, actually, I've just got a butterfly here. How nice does that look? You know, you could just pop that. Let's just do that. just pop that butterfly on there. I'm not saying it needed it, but it just takes it up a notch and, you know, kind of makes it extra special. So hopefully you know, can see that there. And again, hopefully that you like those. And yeah, I've had a lot of fun actually working with the postage stamps. And yeah, I really hope that you guys have enjoyed them. Hope you've got some ideas now for some more ways to use your postage stamps. You know, yeah, I've had quite a lot of fun. So thanks very much for joining me, and I would love to see your projects. Look forward to seeing any if you're joining in with the challenge. Thanks then. Bye.